Hello, I have a video today for a Divine Counterpart Collective. I just want to give you some information before I even start the reading. I'm going to leave a link to the movie that kind of brought forth my awareness to this collective, if you will. It's called In Your Eyes. It's free here on YouTube, like literally free. It's not like a bootleg or anything like that. It's an older movie, and I guess it didn't do very well, so it's free. But if you watch it, you might want to watch it before you watch this, or you could do it either way. It's going to have a lot of confirmation for divine counterparts. It's going to have confirmation regarding, I have some notes, I'm just going to read them. You're going to get confirmation regarding remote viewing, telepathic communication, how your bodies communicate with each other during tower moments, during feeling each other's pain in the body, but also like energetically. It's those things that are like unexplicable that you felt, and you think for a long time you probably thought they were your feelings, but you're realizing now, in realizing that you have a divine counterpart, you have realized then that a lot of the stuff is not really yours, if you will, right? So it's gonna make you question things, look back at memories that you have, that you're like, no wonder that fell off. It's almost like it wasn't me or something like that. It's really interesting. Now, I would have to say and preface by saying that the movie is not like like word for, if you would, like word for word or scenario per scenario what telepathic communication between counterparts is, but it's a little exaggerated, of course, because it's a movie. For some it could be highly true, I'm not denying that either. It could be exactly like that, but in general it's more of like, you have to take it with a grain of salt, just like everything, okay? And it's interesting too, because I don't know if you've ever encountered this in the spiritual community, people saying that TV and programming or television in general, media, everything that you consume that kind of like it's put out as entertainment is soft disclosure, like it's truth, but in a different way, kind of like to not be suspicious, if you will. Just because things do need to be disclosed, but they disclose it as a fantasy. So you still kind of consume it, you're aware of it, but because it's fed to you as fantasy, you put it off as that has nothing to do with the 3D world, and that is not, if you know, you know. I'm going to leave it there. As far as that, you're also going to kind of, if you've always felt like you have someone like watching over you, like especially when you've been going through hard times, you feel like you're not alone, but it doesn't feel like you're not alone in a scary way. It's more of like comforting. That's going to bring you clarity about that too. Again, that movie, I saw like little snippets of it because on TikTok it came to my awareness. Like it came with my feed, right? And I use TikTok in a very conscious way. Like I do like it to just scroll and have fun, but I've realized that everything that I again consume outside of whatever I consume as entertainment, I use it with a purpose. So what I say is, show me what I need to see every time I open the app, right? Or I refresh it or whatever. So I have to pay attention to those things. That movie, little snippets of that movie kept coming up and coming up, that people were posting as like really cool, how like these two have like a telepathic communication, and they have remote viewing with each other, and they can have a conversation in their head, if you will, right? And I was like, that's interesting, you know? So I was like, okay. And I watched it, and when I tell you, the whole time I was like, this makes so much sense. It made me question a lot of things like in my life, but I just feel like obviously it's a collective. I'm not the only one. So super interesting movie. Please go watch it. It will give you a lot of answers, or if not answers, it's gonna make you realize just, it's going to make you realize a lot. Just how, again, things that are fiction are not so much fiction, because if you can relate to the things happening in that freaking movie, you realize that energetic communication and telepathy and remote viewing and like feeling someone else's pain even though you never met them, or you're far away like miles, thousands of miles, it doesn't matter. You are connected to this person because they are your divine counterpart, you know what I mean? And also you've always been there for them and they've always been there for you, but because it literally happens since you're here incarnated, right? Since you've ever had a sense of being here alive, you've had that communication. It's almost like without it is when it's gonna, like, if it's always been a part of your life, like it feels like it's just part of you. It doesn't feel like it's someone else, you know what I mean? if if you resonate with being a divine counterpart, you know what I mean. I don't have to over explain myself. So anyways, so I wrote all of that to do this reading. My plan was to do another reading today and then do this one tomorrow. But for some reason, yesterday when I was on TikTok, and it's always at night, dude. It's always at night. It was like almost 11 o'clock already. And I just felt called to do a reading. I just felt it. Also, one of my videos on TikTok regarding this collective was getting a lot of likes and a lot of saves and stuff. And I was like, what's going on? And I posted that video close to 2 weeks ago. So that, I don't know if I mentioned this here before, but usually when I get called again to, when one of my videos is getting traction again, it's usually a little like ding for me, like a little, hey, pay attention. And I'm telling you, every single person that was liking a video, following, or whatchamacallit, saving, like was active in my profile or in my videos, it was that video. Everyone was liking, commenting, like it was just that video over and over and over again. So I found that really interesting. So I was like, okay, so this collective needs to be read for. I did a reading and then I realized it needs to be, it is the collective I was planning to read for anyways. So on TikTok, I did 4 parts yesterday that were like the preface, someone called it the pre-game. That was really funny. To this reading, because I hear it's a little better for me. I don't have to stop and go, and the flow is different, you know. And I've been getting songs since this morning. This also, I wanted to sleep in a little bit, and this energy would not let me sleep in either. So I just got up and I did my thing. I took my walk, I showered, I did my stuff. But also I have to mention, and this could resonate with some of you, just give you more confirmation. Today I've been feeling like irrationally bothered or annoyed for no reason. Okay, I have no reason to be annoyed, bothered, or anything like that. It's almost like, again, that it's not my energy thing. Oh my God. So this card came out yesterday in the reading, that in the pregame. I'm going to call it that. And if you're watching this, the person who commented that, you're freaking hilarious. Yes, a pregame. The pregame reading, the sun was there. This card. And I used this deck because this is the Divine Masculine deck that I use. So Divine Masculine likes to communicate with this through this deck. And it was also yesterday, it was Monday, and this deck is called the Mystic Monday Tarot. So I thought it was very synchronistic. Everything was just synchronicity after synchronicity. I want to see what this is now. The 9 of Pentacles. This looks like the Empress to me as well. Okay, you're like a peacock to this person. They see you as the sun, dude. Like, how can you not? You can't be mad at the sun. I don't know. I'm seeing someone that really likes plants here, so you could like plants, monstera especially. I have a huge monstera like really right next to me right now. It's to the left. It's huge. So that's interesting. And I cleaned the leaves today, and that's interesting that I'm seeing leaves here. Okay, the sun is here too. You see how her hair is like flowing, and then this looks kind of like the same. The peacock is a beautiful animal, but it's also not just beautiful because of its plumage. The beauty comes from within, and I feel like this person sees you that way. You're not just beautiful on the outside to them. It's almost like your beauty comes from within. That's how they see you. They perceive your soul. They don't really, they obviously they look at your body and they find you extremely attractive. Why wouldn't they? But it's almost like, yes, but also it's like something that you can't help but radiate from you. I'm seeing like ripples with this now. It's like it just naturally pours out of you, your beauty, and it is because it's from the soul. You're very calm, very zen. You don't just appear happy, you do seem like you're a happy person. In the grand scheme of things, we all have our days and our moments and our months or years where we, especially when we're doing a lot of healing. But yesterday, the Three of Swords came out, and then I tied it to the Three of Swords was something that you guys in this connection like experience a deep, deep hurt, and then you alchemized it into the Sun energy, and the Sun is the happiest card in the deck. So you, I mean, that's the Queen of Wands, dude. Do you see how powerful they see you? Like, all of this is, to me, speaking about how the Divine Masculine sees the Divine Feminine. And I think it's beautiful. And yesterday, the King of Wands came out in the reading. But now we have the Queen. That's interesting, too. The Knight of Pentacles. The thing is that this collective has a lot of, there's frustration around how long things are taking, or how, in the 3D right here, energetically, I think you guys have a really deep connection. It's undeniable. That's why you need like a lot of confirmation, which is why probably this movie came to my awareness, because you need that kind of confirmation that you're not going crazy, or not just crazy, like that you, what you're feeling is legitimate. You know, it's not, don't gaslight yourself about your feelings and what you intuitively are receiving. Okay, you're very intuitive with the Queen of Wands here, and it's not just you receiving this intuition, but it's you allow it into your energy, but you also command. You're very powerful. You're what I'm trying to say here. It's not that you manipulate what comes through. It's that you receive it in a way where you really reassure yourself. Okay, the communication from spirit that you get, your intuition, you don't question it anymore. You've gotten to that point where you don't question it anymore, which is I think why this Knight of Pentacles is here now, because you see how they're looking this way. And this is the slowest moving knight in the deck, which is what I was getting at with the whole frustration thing of like things not being here in the physical, right? But it's a solid thing that's coming towards you. So it's going to, it has been taking its time. It's not going to take its time. It has been taking its time because you've been at it for a while now. It's not necessarily that it's now the journey is starting. If anything, it's almost, they're almost arriving at you. I wanted to say at your door, at your feet for some reason. I also want to point out the fact that this is, the Nine of Pentacles is like the lady in waiting. But you carry this energy of like, look at you depicted like the Sun, Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and there's the energy coming in, the masculine energy coming in is a knight, okay? It's a Knight of Pentacles. And that speaks to maybe they have a little bit of growing to do, or not just they have a little more growing to do to be at your level. I don't want to like make it like you know, you have to be a certain thing to be with me kind of thing. That's not it. But it's almost like if they perceive it that way, which again, this is them speaking, so maybe they do. For some of you, it could be this, right? So if they perceive themselves as a knight and they see you as a queen, as an independent, stable, grounded, just beautiful being like that, and they don't perceive themselves the same, do you see how they still have a little bit of growing to do? Because they need to understand their own divinity to even though they see your divinity, when they tap into their own divinity and they see themselves as your equal, because they are, this is going to transform even more. No, the Empress. Why did I tell you that this is the Empress? Like literally, this is insane. I love when I get confirmations like this. I'm seeing Aphrodite with the pomegranate. The fact that she has a pineapple on her, a banana. What's with the fruits? You might be vegan. You might be someone that consumes a lot of fruits for some reason. It's coming through as well. Like it's a little dirty, so I'm not gonna say that. But it's like you're very sweet. Like in general, I'm gonna leave it there. That's interesting. No fucking way, dude. Okay. Okay. The fact that you saw me shuffle this, right? You saw me shuffle this deck. I left it, put it down, and I started to pull the cards. They were right after each other. So this is the thing. Okay, this is the thing. Just like you've had a massive transformation here, because let's also realize that you've gone from the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands to the Empress, and they have gone from the Knight of Pentacles to the Emperor. Divine, if you need a more confirmation about this being a divine counterpart reading, here it is. They were right after each other. That's insane. My nose is going crazy right now. It's super itchy. This is insane. Oh my God. So, you know, it's taken them a while to realize that they are your equal, they are your divine counterpart, but I think they're stepping into the role. This really feels close to, I don't want to say union. I don't want to give anybody false hope, but everything, you know, everything has its timing, if you will. But this is confirmation that you do have a divine counterpart. Like you do. I don't have to add anything else to that. Like I don't feel the need to. Wow. Wow. And it's it's interesting because the feminine energy does lead in the energetic connection, if you will, like in the mystic realm, if you will. I think you come to the awareness before they do. But for this collective, it really feels like every time that you level up, every time that you, again, realize your own divinity, boom, this person's looking at you like a brand new person. They see your growth even more than you see it yourself. And even they've always seen you as the sun, as their happiness, as someone that's just magic. They've always seen you as the Empress, but you've had to like evolve yourself into seeing yourself that way. So that's how you guys are mirrored as well. You would understand what they're going through because you've gone through it yourself. Okay, you've gone through the whole process of having this awakening and coming into the awareness of everything that's possible for you with spirituality hand in hand, like being your path, being something that you're going to do to help not just help yourself and help your family, your lineage, if you will, but also other people, because that's what you felt called to do. Just like you've been through all of those like stumbling things, like you've fallen, you've gotten up, you're falling, you've gotten up, and slowly but surely you've developed the fact and reassured yourself. You've been reassured by having this connection to spirit and like your guides and even your inner self, inner child, past lives, this life, everything like that encompasses who you are, and you've come to the awareness of who you are, this person also has to go through the same thing. And maybe they're going through it a little slower, and that's okay too. But you're being confirmed that yes, they are. Whoever you're thinking about, and I feel like a lot of you have this collective feels like you have a couple of people in your vicinity that are potentials for some reason. But there's that one person, there has to be one person that it's this. You can't deny it. It's undeniable. Interesting because Temperance came out yesterday too. This speaks to the healing, to the balance, to the emotional awareness and the emotional maturity, and therefore it being like translated into the 3D world, if you will. Like it's how do I want to explain this? Yesterday came to mind, and I never said it, I didn't write it down, but now it's coming back to me. Give me a second. It was like Temperance is the healing that you do energetically, because you do it from a place of having questions and wanting to learn and experience things. And then how you balance it is not balancing it internally, it's by bringing it into your reality, if you will. And this is what the reading was about yesterday on TikTok. It was about manifesting this, but it's not manifestation. It's alignment, but it's also not alignment. It's more of, what was the word? It was it'll come back to me. But it's the balance in Temperance. How I'm seeing it is not just balancing your emotions and this energy and this connection, but it's the fact that once you've achieved the balance in the energetic realm, if you will, the next step to actually be balanced is to bring it into the reality, into this reality, into union, which is why divine counterparts do have to be in union. They do acquire union. It's just that the journey is different for everybody. It's going to be longer for others, shorter for others. You have to understand that part, okay? But it's a solid thing. Every step that you've taken towards healing, both of you, okay? I'm speaking about both of you here. Everything's about both of you because you guys are mirrors of each other. Like you walk parallel lives until, again, this is very significant because in this collective as well, the fact that it's a square, and I mentioned that it always reminds me, this collective reminds me of that art piece, art exhibit, or it's the two people walking, and the square is moving, and they're walking in opposite directions, or they're walking one behind another, so they never cross paths. But then it gets to a point where they do intersect. So this is the same thing. You guys have been walking parallel lives, very significant things. When they had a tower moment, you probably did too. And if you didn't, you felt it and you were affected by it. Same thing with you. You had tower moments, you had hardships in your life, and that has been reflected with your person as well. So parallel lives that have intersected when they needed to. So you just have to trust that you will cross paths again, because you will. You're doing the healing. So every step that you've taken towards healing, they have as well. They have. And that's part of the magic here. I know this is itchy again, confirmation. That's part of the magic of this love. That every time, it's easy to doubt this. We don't have a lot of examples about this. This is a very new thing that people are talking about. It's not new in the existence of the world, right? Or of humanity. But it is something that is coming to the awareness of the collective in general. If you want to look at the earth as a collective in general, and then there's specific little collectives and groups, it's coming to our awareness because we're ready for this disclosure. And it's, I was thinking today, it's interesting because when I was cooking earlier, I was thinking how conspiracy theories, like even just look at our lifetime, right? We don't have to go back that many years. Let's say last 50 years. a lot of things that back in the day people were like, it's a conspiracy, like this person's crazy, this group of people are crazy. And now we have the knowledge that it was not a conspiracy. It was actually very fucking facts, like it was factual. Everything about like the CIA experimenting with teleportation and remote viewing and meditation to use this and that, like all of that stuff is not conspiracy anymore because we have the documents that have been disclosed. But again, they were disclosed when they needed to be disclosed. Same thing with this, if you want to look at it like that, okay? This kind of connection and this kind of love, I'm not saying comparing it to other loves and other connections and saying that this is better. I'm saying that it's a little different, and now we can have words for it. We can have the knowledge of it because now it's the time for this to be disclosed, if you will. Just like things get disclosed to you when you need to have them into your awareness, because otherwise they will probably shatter your fucking mind and they will drive you to insanity. If you've experienced spiritual psychosis, that's kind of what it is, where it was too much at once for you and it was just too much. It was too much. It probably drove you to insanity, or you thought you were crazy. Some people don't even survive that. Sometimes it's better to leave it up to your spirit guides, your own spirit, your own communication with God to disclose things when you need them to, like, because you can't force your own healing, so the same thing goes for forcing knowledge upon others. For example, like, you don't need to convince anybody, and I don't know where this message is going, but it's going everywhere, but it'll make sense to the people it needs to make sense to. Like, you cannot this is a very personal journey for both of you, and I think you become your own you become your own confirmation when you're in union, which is again why there's a certain step where you've done a lot of the healing on your own, and then the next step, the normal, natural fucking next step, okay, is union, because you need to be in union, like the movie, okay? These people, they both thought they were kind of crazy for having like knowledge of someone else's life and not even knowing who that person was, but they knew it wasn't theirs. But then at the same time, they were like, maybe it's just my imagination, it's my dreams, or whatever the fuck, right? Until they were ready to communicate in the 3D, it became more real for them, and therefore they were each other's confirmation. And I'm sure that whoever they cannot speak to anybody about that unless those people actually felt the same thing that they were feeling. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, just like, I'm going to give you an example that's very like mundane, right? That everybody can relate to. You cannot express to someone what it feels like to truly be in love unless they have been in love themselves, right? You can describe it in beautiful words, but no one, unless you have been in love, reading a poem about someone being in love is not going to hit the same. You're not going to get it. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But that's what I'm saying. Like, just the same thing about, I'm going to give you another example that's a little grimmer. If you've never had a child and then had that child pass away, you wouldn't know that pain, right? Only another parent, mother, father, would know what that truly fucking feels like, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, this kind of connection, you cannot expect people to understand this, okay? It's almost like it's a very lonely journey because of that, but you're gonna have to. That's why soul family comes into your life, because when you need them, when you need that kind of confirmation. And that's why divine counterparts come into union when they actually are in that point where the next logical step is union, because otherwise what's the point to the whole thing? You know what I mean? Like, that's the next logical step. Now, through all of that, you still have to like keep the faith that this is real and this is happening for you. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not saying that just because you don't believe in it, you will never come into union, or it's impossible. It's going to happen regardless. But you have to understand that it's going to happen in the time that it has to. Like, there's divine timing at play. There's faith. There's so many factors to navigate through. You know, it's. But Spirit wants both of you, right, to realize that what you feel in your soul, in your spirit, is not wrong. If you feel it that intensely, it's not wrong. Now, the circumstances around you could be showing you another thing and not confirming things for you. And that's okay. That's when we get that disconnect, where we kind of like push this connection away. But that's part of the healing of this connection. It's the same thing where I was saying, like, these two people in this art piece. I'll see if I can find a video and I'll put it in the link as well. They're walking and walking and walking, and it's almost like, if you never intersected with the past with this person, you would think that you're the only one walking on here. But you're not, because when you intersect, you realize that you're not alone. But then for some reason, it's like they vanish, they disappear again. It's like that. Like, you come into connection with each other, into each other's awareness when you need to. It's almost like to test the waters, to dip a toe, to reconnect, if you will. And then you get pulled away again. It's part of the, it's almost like strengthening things. It's like you lift a weight, but then you put it down, and then you lift it again and you put it down until you're ready to do it continuously, if you will, because that's the intensity of this connection. And you cannot tell me otherwise. Whenever you are in communication, even if it's just energetically, it is intense. It is intense. And sometimes your body is not ready, your mind is not ready, your spirit, your soul is not ready. It's going to happen when you're ready, okay? And I think the main message here is to just continue to grow as a person, as who you want to be, what you want to do. And I know it's cliche where like it's going to happen when you least expect it, but it truly is that way for a reason, you know? Also, whenever I hear like cliche things that people just say over and over again, it's almost like you don't even know where that originated, right? But everybody can like, in a way, confirm it. Like, yeah, you know, I found my wife when I wasn't even looking. I just recently moved here and blah, blah, blah. You know, like stories like that where it's like everything, you were not expecting something and that's when it literally fell in your lap. Everyone can kind of relate to that because it has happened to them. I don't know. I'm getting back. I'm getting back to that whole thing where like, if it hasn't happened to you, if you haven't experienced it, you wouldn't understand it, if you will, right? I don't know, because I feel like a lot of you guys are trying to generalize things, or you're looking around for confirmation. I need confirmation, and it's okay. You can ask your guides. You can ask God for confirmation. But you also have to pay attention to things that are being disclosed to you when you're asking the right questions, okay? But also sometimes it's not just the right question, but it's at the right time. In my spiritual journey, I've always had questions. I'm a skeptic. I'm a believer, but I'm a skeptic, and I question everything. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's the way to be, honestly. In the grand scheme of things, like you should question everything. That's okay. But it's not. So your guides are going to, depending on your demeanor, your approach to this connection, or to your spiritual journey in general, because this is about self-growth. And in taking those steps, you align to this person, okay? And they align to you. That's just what it is, okay? If I wanted like to just concise a divine counterpart connection into a couple of sentences, that's what I would say. But it's so much deeper than that, because we're not simple creatures. We're very complex, okay? And we all have very different paths, and we see the world differently, and that is okay. That is okay. It's almost like it's okay to have differences. We all know that. It's okay, because otherwise there wouldn't be any diversity in the world. So just because so I was talking about like asking questions, right? In my journey, I've always had a lot of questions, but I'll tell you something, like my answers, maybe they came when I asked them, but if I wasn't ready to see them, or I didn't have the tools to see them, I probably missed them, you know? Has it ever happened to you that like let's say you drive through a certain street every single day, but until you're actually ready to look around, you don't realize that that building has always been green, but in your mind you're like, I've never realized that that building is green. You weren't ready to see it yet, kind of like that. I like how this reading is a lot about comparing things that happen in the regular world, so that you kind of have to make your own meanings about things, or like you make connections. This is a lot about confirmation. I think the main reason why divine counterparts, well, okay, I'm gonna track back a little bit. One of the reasons why divine counterpart readers, or just readers in general, or spiritual people are now like being activated and sharing their gifts and speaking things and like sharing what they know and like what they found out, is because a lot of people are asking the right questions. It's the right time. It's the time for disclosure about certain things. And that's happening like in a bigger scale, like in a grand scale, but it also happens to the individuals. I know that for me, I wasn't ready to start like sharing my knowledge and stuff like that until I have to live it first. That's what it feels for me. That's how I've always been, actually. Like until I actually go through things, I don't have a way of like I don't have a way of communicating about it, or like what is it that I'm trying to say? It's like you have to be in it. Again, you have to experience certain things to then understand them, to then be able to pass it along, to maybe help other people understand what they're going through. Because when you were going through it, you had no guidance, because nothing like this existed back then, when you were going through it. So this is why this journey is beautiful, because as you grow, you're going to be naturally inclined not to push these beliefs upon other people, or set yourself apart because you're one of the 14400, or 44,000, or whatever it is, or set yourself apart because you are a twin flame, or a twin soul, divine counterpart. So like karma, that's not what I'm saying. It's not about separating things. It's not about that, or setting yourself aside. Spirituality is not about that. Whoever speaks to about spirituality or these concepts to set themselves apart, and that's me, I'm not going to pass judgment. I'm not passing judgment. I'm saying like this journey is about just accepting everything and everybody, and accepting that people are going through their own shit, dude. Like everyone's in a different step, different path. Like every mind is a different world. Like it's a very personal journey. Okay, it's personal, and then there's things that you naturally will feel guided to share. I have been reading tarot for a really long time. I've been posting for a while now, but I can tell you that there's certain things that come to my awareness that I don't post about it, and then because until I need to, like I just know, you intuitively know what you're supposed to share and not share, like because again there has to be that feeling, that energetic pull of things need to be disclosed at a certain time by a certain person at a certain thing. Like the right questions will be answered when they need to be answered. And this collective has a lot of questions. They have a lot of questions about why, if I've done my healing, if I've grown a lot, why hasn't this come into my reality? Is really where this collective is at the moment, I think. Maybe some a little bit ahead or a little bit behind that. You know, it's like, it's fluid, right? Everything's fluid. But let me just take one more card. You have beautiful cards here. It's undeniable. Like the Empress, the Emperor, Temperance, the Sun. My candle's going crazy right now. I have a candle here next to me, and it just started like doing a weird noise. That's crazy. Okay, after, as I said, the Six of Cups came out yesterday too. So yeah, you've had many lifetimes together. Many lifetimes together. And it's about to happen again. It's that simple. This is on track, okay? You've never been led astray. You are on the right track, on the right timeline. On my nose is itchy again. Sorry, I'm just gonna take a sip of my coffee. Everything in divine timing. You just have to trust the process. King of Cups, Six of Swords, and Reverse. That's interesting. You know, I had a thing today too. This is so interesting. Today, because this came out in reverse and my deck is not in reverse, I had a whole inner monologue with myself about, it's like I was hearing someone say, why don't you read reversals? And then I was like, yeah, why don't I read reverse? I'm like, well, you know, this is a tool, so you can't tell other people how to use a pen. You know, they're going to use the pen however they want. Just, this is an artistic outlet. You know, you can't really put people in a box when they're using their artistic outlet. So I was like, well, you know, my guides, we have a communication where I ask for things to be disclosed to me in a way that I can understand it and then portray the message that I need to portray, or what's the point of the communication if I can't understand it, right? So I was like in an inner monologue with myself, like, why don't I read reverses? I should do reverses. Like, I don't know. It was like a back and forth things, like that doubt circling or whatever. And now the Six of Swords came out in reverse and I flipped it and I was like, I don't know, that's wrong. I should put it back. Okay. So now I'm here like trying to see what this means. It's like, because this is usually moving to calmer waters. But the fact that we have the King of Cups, it's almost like the King of Cups, and he's in the water, okay? He is the one making these ripples in the water to kind of, there's this, you see how the swords are usually truth, okay? It's almost like they are rippling the water. Now I'm seeing someone using water to do scrying. And you know how if you put water in a bowl and you're doing scrying, you ripple it, you touch it and you ripple. It's like, to see the truth, they have to like dip a toe in the water. They have to dip a finger. They have to, I'm seeing, they have to step out of their throne. You see how the Empress is in a flowing state, very connected to nature. There's even water at her feet here, which is interesting. It's all looking like, it's very interesting to me. So the Emperor, the Divine Masculine, might be very logical in the moment. They might be kind of in trying to make sense of things. Sometimes it's a little too structured for them, and that's hindering their growth. However, they are your divine counterpart. They are the Emperor. They're in that energy, but they're in that energy a little bit, maybe too stuck in the practicality of things, where, let's circle back, this whole thing is like a magical thing. It seems magical because it's so unexplainable, right? To someone from 100 years ago, a cell phone could seem like magic, that we have a computer that we can hold in our hands. It's because they don't understand it, because they don't have the information to understand it yet, right? You show them a couple of videos, documentaries, and they'll get it. Like, okay, so this is this and this and that, and it evolved from this. And you know what I mean? Same thing. Like when you try to be a little too logical with things, make things fit where you want them to, you step away from this emotion, intuitively knowing things. A very masculine thing to do. Not to like, you know, set gender roles or whatever, but makes sense. Makes sense. I think I'm done with this deck. The devil. Sometimes also, because when you dive into the emotional awareness of this connection, the emotional healing, it could seem like you're diving deeper into shadows, and this is the devil is, I like how in this card, on this deck, this is making me think of wands here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Interesting. 8 of wands, a lot of information coming through. Okay. But it's almost like they have to get themselves out of here. There is a way out of this confusion, this illusion, if you will. Because the devil is the opposite of the lovers, right? It's about choice as well, but the choice here is to unshackle yourself from a lot of, I think, limited thinking for some of them, but for others, it's like the logical mind. Come at this connection from an emotional, intuitive place. And then the answers will appear, like the door will open, the staircase will manifest. It will materialize, was the word. So the word that I used yesterday instead of manifesting, it's almost like energetically you've been working on this connection, so naturally it's going to materialize in your reality. And that's what I mean. Like, when you get the information, you work through your triggers, you alchemize, you integrate shadow, you do your shadow work, you do your emotional healing, the stairs materialize, the door opens, you get out of this illusion and this energy that keeps you a little bit trapped in your mind mostly, okay? It's not that the devil has a hold of you or something like that. But if this masculine, okay, side message, if this masculine comes from a religious place, religious upbringing, they could see this as, again, kind of devilish, I guess. I can see how that could be. Okay, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Just want to show you the bottom of the deck. There's internal struggle about this for them. Think about the fact that there has been internal struggle about this for you as well. So you can't really pass judgment as far as that goes. Keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to use some Oracle. Just because I'm going to start with this deck, because I want to see if the cards that usually talk to me about this collective comes out. I want to leave these out, but I'm going to move them a little bit. The fact that the Emperor and the Empress came out, you can't make that shit up, dude. Like, you literally can't. This is why I love divination. And you don't need tarot cards to have these downloads or to like express everything that I just said here. You really don't. You don't need it. Don't think that you need it. It's a tool. Again, it's like it's nice when you get confirmation. As a reader is really nice. As the person watching is really nice. Why don't you want to stand up, my dude? Okay, well, it wants to be sideways. That's okay. All right. Oh, a little, because, oh my goodness. Okay, a little hint here. For you guys, if you're getting into tarot or just like doing any kind of divination, I just got really hot, so I feel called to explain it. When you're getting downloads, usually you'll feel it. You'll feel people's emotions. You'll feel whatever you're tapping into, the collective, whether it's your collective or another collective that you're reading for or experiencing coming into your awareness, you'll feel different things in your body. Like right now, it just got super hot. Like when I grabbed this deck and I started moving things around for it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Observer and new life. The fact that it's 49 and 39, that has to be significant. That could be someone's age here. There could also be a 10-year gap in your ages. But it's also, 9 is significant as well, 9-9. The song that's playing right now is Honest by Justin Bieber. That's interesting too. So yeah, you're coming into this new life, and I feel like this is a divine masculine, like observing this transformation of yours, right? And then they're on top of the egg, but this also is like a new beginning for them. They might not know it yet, but they do know it. You're someone that also inspires this person, okay? And again, I mean, you do. You know, the sun rises every single day. You can count on the sun. They count on your integrity, on who you are. You've always been very honest. The fact that that's the song playing, you've been who you are, always to them, and that is authenticity is something that it's important to this person, just like it's important to you, especially after you do a lot of your healing and you are on this journey for a little while. You don't want anything but authenticity. Even if people just want to be dicks, at least you know they're a dick to your face. You just want authentic people, okay? I remember telling someone once, because they were like, "Oh, I'm just an asshole." I'm like, "Well, you know, as long as you're an asshole, like to people's faces, just own that. Just be an asshole, but don't pretend that you're something else when you know that you're an asshole. Like if you're calling yourself that, just be that." And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way or anything like that, but that's what I mean. Like just be yourself. Like they admire that about you, and maybe that's where the disconnect might be, where like they feel like they're not authentic, or they haven't been authentic with you or towards you or towards this connection, but they're getting there. They're getting there. They think they have to keep a lot. When it comes to you, they've kept a lot of composure, a lot of things like locked down, if you will. But I just heard the tea's about to spill, like with the cups here pouring. Higher power. Okay, the 4-4 might be significant. 4-4-4 as well. There's that unlocking things, okay? That's crazy, dude. I love this card. It's beautiful. You guys have nothing to worry about. Like, I know that that's so easy to like say, and it's like you have nothing to worry about. But like, it's true. It's just true. I mean, if you've been in this reading for this long, and you've just look at the cards. Like I'm not picking the cards that I want to pick. Like, so you're being asked to trust the process. Okay, I keep hearing that. Yeah, and like focus on yourself, on your well-being. Make sure that you feel good. Like you are in the moment. You're experiencing this new life, this renewal of your energy, of who you are, what you want to do. Let me lower this so that. Okay. So it's time to just enjoy, right? Let me see what comes. Ooh. Observer. Clarify but come to the edge. This makes me think of the Fool, like about to jump. I think they've done enough looking. It's time to take action, right? It's time to fall. It's time to fall. Higher power, and then 9 is significant. I said that. And 9 is divine counterpart numbers as well. Treasure Island. It's a sea turtle. There's also like stars. The stars here, starfish can regenerate their own limbs and stuff. That's interesting. It's almost like you guys have caught up. Okay, this is an interesting message coming through. Maybe some of you guys have cut off, have tried to cut cords with this person, and they just keep coming back. It's like the energetic connection comes back, everything comes back the same, and you're like, what the F is going on, dude? Like, I thought I was over this person. I thought, I've done my healing. Why can't I get over this person? Well, it's like right on the nose, if you will. Why do you think that is? Okay. Why do you think that this person comes to your awareness again? Why does this person, like, if they're watching, like, why do you think your feminine comes back and back into your mind, and you feel the call to look at them, to observe them, to communicate with them, to check up on them. Like, why do you think that is? You know? If you have a question about who this is for you as well, because I feel like for a lot of this collective, there's like a couple of options that you're not sure, like if it's this person, is it this, there's a possibility here, but you know, like think back of like, have you gotten over everybody that you've ever like been kind of like wrong by, like in a connection with, in a romantic connection with? Who's the person that you cannot get over? That's this person. Like, who comes back and like not in a toxic, this is not someone that's abusive, that has hurt you physically. Like it's not a toxic connection, okay? It's not someone that inflicted so much trauma on you that that's why you can't forget them, or they trigger you. That's not it. That's not it, okay? Whoever tells you that, that's not a divine counterpart, okay? This would be someone that felt like it was always the right person, but at the right time. When you were ready, they were in a connection, or they were not ready. When they were a little ready to try, you were doing something else. You were focused either on someone else, on something else. Like, it was just never, again, leads me back to that whole art piece where like it was like you're walking the same path and then you intersect, but it never lasted in the past. But it's not it's not toxic. It's not, okay? It's not. If anything, they were scared of the connection. You were scared of it too. You also could have had the wrong person in this position. However, you were still doing your work, right? Regardless, don't feel bad for maybe having the wrong person in the beginning of your spiritual awakening. Maybe you have the wrong person in this spot, but now you've realized, again, it's been disclosed to you who it truly is, and then you keep circling back to questioning, if it's them, why is it not here? If it, like the whole thing, everything's gonna happen when it should, okay? Everything's gonna happen when it should. You're so close to like a brand new thing, because 9 then 10, and then it's like a regeneration. There's a regeneration to this connection. There's love, happiness, abundance, excuse me, burp, confirmation, abundance. Literally, there's coins falling everywhere. We have a crescent moon here. That could be significant too. Keys could be significant. If you find keys, that could be a sign for you as well. That's interesting. I don't know if I think I'm done with this deck. Maybe 2 more. I just want to see if the Fate card wants to come out, because that's usually the card that kind of confirms divine counterparts for me, although we have the confirmation already, so I'm not stressing it there. But it's always good. It's always good to have confirmation. Of course it is. Ooh, and between worlds, yes. Okay, you see, like you're walking into this, okay? Treasure Island, the higher power is guiding you the right way. You're stepping away from this fogginess, this void of color world, if you will. But it takes time, it takes time to, you've taken the right steps. You just got to trust, okay? This is divine masculine, yang, so that's interesting. Confirmation. That's confirmation. They're here in this reading. I wasn't crazy, right? when I was thinking I needed to do a divine counterpart reading. But it's almost, you guys are so entangled, right? That I cannot decipher. It's almost like whenever I speak about anything, it's like I'm speaking to both of you. I cannot I mean, I could if that was my intention, but my intention was to check on the connection. And since I'm checking on the connection, both of you are coming through and both of you are telling me the same things. You have the same doubts, the same questions, the same, I don't know. It's very, it's like the same energy. Truth be told, there's that unmasking, and then wisdom with the owl. But you see how the windows open? It's like it was like the devil card where like the door was open now. It's like it's open and there's love pouring out or pouring in. You don't even know which way it's flowing, but it's flowing, and that's what matters. That's what matters. Well, the fake card didn't want to appear. I just saw it, but I don't like having to look for it. Oop. Unfinished Symphony. There you guys are. There you guys are with your connection is always very, very much based on music. You communicate with each other through music, through a lot of poetic things, a lot of creative things, but music is very relevant. Music touches a different, it strokes a different string in your heart, if you will. Like it really resonates with you. This person sends you songs, lyrics and songs, melodies, and you do the same for them. That will be confirmation that this is for you as well. You know if I'm talking about that. You'll get it right away. Birds could be significant as well because I'm seeing birds here. The letter B. With the blue egg, I'm thinking one's in a blue moon. And again, about to crack. You know, you're on this journey here. Ups and downs, waves. But it's like you're writing a beautiful melody. You're living a beautiful song, a beautiful story. And you should honor it and not, it's time to let go of doubt, okay? And I know that's easier said than done. I'm not saying that could be done overnight. That's not it at all. But is it possible? It really is. It is possible. And faith is not, the divine is not asking you to have blind faith. I think you're getting a lot of confirmations, okay? So it's time to trust the confirmations. It's time for you to trust that maybe the questions that were not answered for you years ago when this first started, they're coming to you now because it's the right time, okay? All right, let's see what the unicorns have to say. The fact that this card flipped over, patience. Pause before you take action. Trust that the divine timing is at work. Be patient and play while you wait. Exactly. Enjoy this new life and this renewal that's happening for you. Because the more that you do that, the more this person gets closer to you. Awareness. Live in the moment. Oh my God. Be conscious of your thoughts. Look for signs and guidance. Are you kidding me? I like how this is falling right here underneath both of you. Like both of you need to do this. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful card too. I almost feel like that unicorn is like underwater because of like, it just looks like it's underwater, but there's light coming through. Okay. I'm going to get one more from here. Interesting, because it says, live in the moment and be cautious of your thoughts. Look for guidance. Signs and, sorry, it was, oh my God, it was this card. Okay, this was at the bottom of the deck, right? Because I read it first. Pause before you take action, right? Right? But wait. And then the card that came after was action. Now is the perfect time to act, okay? Take inspired action towards your dreams. Move forward with confidence. I think this is the message for the divine masculine, because whether we like it or not, okay, how things are set up, I'm hearing, you know, I just heard that, who is that? Is it Kevin Hart? he's doing like stand up, and he's like, the way that my bank account is set up, like to say something about like not being able to spend money or whatever. How things are set up is that the masculine energy, right, is the one who has to approach you. It's just what naturally happens, to be honest. Like you got to do you as the feminine, and they're the ones who come in with this offer. I mean, it's there too. He's the one holding it. You're waiting. You're in receptive mode. You're chilling. Okay, they're the ones who have to get up and like come to you, if you will. So this is like for you. You stay grounded and do your thing, and then this person just kind of like whooshes in. It's so beautiful. That's so interesting. Work through your fears. You want a Scorpio. Oh man, I'm like cheesing right now, smiling. My face hurts from smiling. I can't help but be smiling right now. That's crazy. I'm like giddy all of a sudden. I was so serious. What did I say about the egg? Once in a blue moon, and this is the fucking card that comes out. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Ooh. Show the world the real you. Authenticity. Full moon in Aquarius. This is for both of you. This is for you guys. Have to be authentic. If you're being called, if you're being called to share your gift, your spiritual gifts, it's time to do that. It's almost like it's tied to this masculine coming in for some reason. Because the action that you take is stepping into this new life, into this new path of yours, right? Aligning to your divinity and your path. And in doing so, this person aligns to you and they come in. As you pursue your dreams, they pursue theirs, and you are like their dream come true. And ooh, that's interesting. Nothing's yet set in stone. There's that fluidity that you kind of have to allow things to happen as they will, things to unfold as they will. Your dreams need a practical plan. That could be because it's a Taurus, right? It's like very 3D energy, right? In the physical realm, because it's Earth energy. So maybe they're working up a plan to come forth, right? I don't know if I want to do one more. I feel like I need to do one more oracle. I just don't know which one. No, I'm not going to do oracle. I'm going to do the LIGHTSEERS tarot because I really like this deck. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? I just grabbed this and it was at the bottom. Okay. Hold on, I have to shuffle it correctly. Of course, I just moved everything. Oh my god. Eh. Alright, I'm not gonna stress about it. Alright, let's see. I'm just gonna do 3 cards and let's just see what comes out because this video is pretty long already. Alright. So last messages, if you will. So this deck I like for Divine Feminine. So this will be interesting. I think that's what I want to do. I want to see what comes through for you. Okay. All right. There we go. 3 cards. Temperance is here again. Temperance. I like when I get double cards. It's just makes me feel good about it. Like it's good. There's that balance of divine and energy of like dark and light and like just ever flowing things, if you will. This connection is also protected by your guides. It truly is. Queen of Swords. Careful of closing your don't close yourself off. Don't close your heart up here because she has her cup, her heart behind bars here. The Queen of Swords is the only queen in the deck that has gone to war. They've experienced a lot of hurt, and they're holding a sword because they feel like they're a warrior and they do need to be not just protected, but they need to protect themselves. They've learned how to do that. And sometimes you could become a little, I can see how you can be a little detached from this when you get triggered in a painful way. But war is over is what I'm hearing. There's this new life and you've done so much healing. But then here's the same thing again. The Two of Pentacles is about choice, but also about making sure. It's almost like because you want to make the right choice, the logical mind, right? We were talking about logic before, where like you can't have everything structured not everything's super logical all the time. Sometimes you just gotta go with your heart. And wanting to be fair, wanting to be logical, you just get stuck in this back and forth of not knowing how to pick or what to pick. It's better just to take action. If you get hurt or if you succeed or whatever happens, know that you have the background of being able to alchemize whatever happens to you. You have the tools as well to take action when you need to. There's nothing for you to worry about. Go towards what you want, what feels right. And if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. But if it happens, you know what I mean? Like, it's just go with the flow is what I'm hearing. It's here too, like, just go with the flow. Again, just because it has been always this person and hasn't worked in the past doesn't mean that the next time they come in, it's not going to work. If you keep looking at it or putting like a filter over certain things, or kind of trying to decipher what's going to happen when when you see each other again, when you communicate again, or is this union every time that they come back into your life, like, you cannot put too much on it. You have to leave it open for it to reveal to you as what it is, okay? The more that you try to steer this along, right, the less that it kind of happens. You just get stuck in cycles until you learn to let go and allow things. Let go, let God, let love. I know it's cheesy, but I got that for a reason. So, yeah. Beautiful reading. I knew it was going to be, it's been a roller coaster of things, honestly. Every reading to me feels that way. I always say that, but this one's beautiful. This one's beautiful. There's just, I keep looking at this unicorn just running in, whooshing in, and it's and even like in the imagery, okay, like I'm gonna leave it here, but do you see how this one's like coming in and rushing in determined, and then this one looks a little bit like, what the freak is happening right now? Are you running towards me? It looks like it's stopped in their tracks, you know, like this one's running. You could tell it's action, but this one almost looks like they're expecting it, but also at the same time they're like, oh my God, it's happening. This is definitely divine feminine. This is divine masculine here. Okay. We're going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. And I really, really, really hope that this brought you clarity, confirmation. Maybe you laughed. Maybe you cried. Maybe you didn't do either of those. If you watched this whole thing, you're very committed to this. It was a long reading, but it didn't feel like that way to me. You guys can let me know in the comments what you feel, if you want to. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.